This is Neutral Ice.
Back it comes, kept in by Hesh. Penalty coming up to Philadelphia. Danny Briere! He took a shot. Rebound to score!
Buffalo's best hockey show every Monday night.
And the Flyers remain busy as they sign Daniel Briere to an 8-year, $52 million deal.
You're infecting my mind. You betrayed me.
He can win it if he scores here in the shootout against Ryan Miller. Briere in to the forehand. He scores! Danny Briere does it.
I
Hate you!
Now, here are your hosts, Nick Lippa and Jack Sullivan.
After 17 seasons in the National Hockey League, the venerable Danny Briere is retired.
I forgive you. I'm never gonna forget. But I forgive you.
On Buffalo's original alternative, 91.3 FM, WBNY.
You're listening to Neutral Ice on 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. I am Jody Biasi, joined in studio by Brayton Wilson, Derek Kramer, and Lou DiBiase. You just heard all those clips right there of former Buffalo Sabre Daniel Briere just announcing his retirement after a long 17-year career as he journeyed through 5 different franchises. Good start. Briere, one of my favorite players growing up, as he was for many, especially considering that those were the Sabres' glory years. Start off with some memories about Danny Briere. There's not much else going on in the hockey world right now. News and notes from the NHL we'll touch on later. The Ducks signed Mike Santorelli, and also Adidas won the NHL jersey rights. But first, let's talk about Danny Briere. What were some lasting memories and some of your favorite memories of Briere as a Sabre, and even not a Sabre if you have them?
I would say one of the first memories would be for me, Danny Briere as a Coyote, still as a young kid in the league, and he's trading blows with Mike Comrie. So you got these two little guys fighting, and it's a good fight, and they're throwing haymakers at each other, and they don't care.
I think the famous one that I always remember is Game 1 against the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. Yes. I think that's probably the most memorable one in my history of being a Sabres fan.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite too. That game in general was the first playoff game from either of the Buffalo teams that I could have remembered. I mean, before that it would have been in 2000 with the Sabres, and I would have been 5 years old. So, I mean, that was the first time I could really enjoy one of my teams as a fan. In that game, the Campbell hit happened in that game. The Sabres had an amazing year, and then Briere wins it in double overtime. Didn't
he take 21 shots in that game?
It was
13.
Ridiculous. 13. Yeah, 13.
Oh, okay.
Like
it was something like overly ridiculous.
No, he was insane that game, and like he was unstoppable, and he just couldn't get the puck to go. And finally, I mean, perfect timing that he did. But yeah, that was amazing. Derek, you would pick a fight, by the way.
I would.
As he had 3 career fights. One against Comrie, little guy, one against Kyle Turris, and the third one has escaped me. Oh, Dan Carcillo. Don't remember that.
You fought Carcillo?
Oh, sorry, Franz Nielsen.
Oh, I was going to say.
Fought Franz Nielsen, whenever that was. Probably was playing for the Islanders at some point there. Do you consider Danny Briere a Sabres legend?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I find that hard to believe.
I'm not sure.
At the time, especially in the era that the Sabres were in, yes. Because the 2005-2006 season and the President's Trophy year was a magical time, according to many. We're really that was the heyday for the Sabres. Those 2 years were phenomenal, unforgettable years. And it's guys like Drury, Briere, even Vanek at the time. Those guys were the key pieces to that puzzle. And, that's why, Buffalo was just devastated when both those guys were completely gone after the 2007 season had just finished up.
Yeah.
And, I think that at the time, yes, they are definitely one of the more memorable favorite players that have ever come into Buffalo.
I think for what he did for the organization too, bringing them. I mean, before the lockout, the team wasn't very good, and he really took a team that wasn't expected to do a lot of things and really made a big push to go to the Stanley Cup. Tried to, they lost in Game 7 to Carolina. So every time he was on the ice, he just, like you said, he did a great job. And I think when you look at some of the legends, you look at Pat LaFontaine, Alexander McGillney, guys like that. I think when you look at what Briere just did for the organization, it puts him right up there with those guys.
Is he Sabres Hall of Fame worthy?
He had, I did the math earlier today, and I think it was 230 career points with the Sabres.
In 225 games.
Mm-hmm. And he had 600 career points, 600 plus, 673 or something like that. But, yeah. I'm not sure about that because his tenure here really wasn't that long. He spent half the 2002-2003 season here.
I will say this. LaFontaine's numbers retired. He didn't spend that much. He didn't play that many more games here than Briere did.
I don't think Briere's getting his number retired. No way.
I know, but I'm saying if LaFontaine can get his number retired and he only played 268 games,
yeah,
I think Briere can. It's close to me, but I think you could put him in. I think you could put Drury in too, even just because of those 2 years.
They would probably go in together. You would think so, right?
Yeah, I mean they seemingly they came in or out at the same time. They left at the same time. They were at their peaks at the same time. I mean they were co-captains.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were different style players, but they were like inseparable.
So Danny Briere, 696 career points, 973 games. Yeah, I mean. But what was more impressive was his playoff points. He was almost averaging a point per game in the playoffs.
Oh, he was clutch.
Which
he
was
the
phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, without a doubt. He was the epitome of clutch.
Even in his later years, like when Montreal went to the conference finals, and he was just like kind of a secondary scorer.
The year they went to
he was still scoring.
The year they went to the Stanley Cup Finals against Chicago in 2010, he had 30 points in 23 games.
Yeah.
30 points.
Nuts.
He would have won the Conn Smythe if Philadelphia somehow pulled it out. He would have.
Yeah, he would have.
No doubt about it. And some argue even then he probably should have won the Conn Smythe that year as well. But, looking back at some of the playoff stats that he had,
he was
of course,
a game with Buffalo.
Yeah, 30 points in 2010 playoffs. He had 12 points in 2007. 15, and then 19 in 2006, and 13 in 2012.
Yeah, so he had 34 points in 34 career playoff games for the Sabres. So he was, I mean, those playoff runs, like those, you could see how big a drop off there was when he left in 2007.
Oh, yeah, that was a steep drop off, huge drop off.
Looking back now, is there How do you feel about the Sabres not seemingly going after him as aggressively in 2007 on July 1st?
Well,
because it seemed to me that they tried to find a way to sign both, and they knew that they couldn't afford it.
Just remember, they had different ownership, different management at the time. I mean,
do you feel like they would have signed him if it was today's management?
If it was Pagula would have had him locked them up a year ahead of time. Pagula and Murray would have had them locked up well in advance. He wouldn't have left Buffalo.
I think we really missed out, on a career.
But, if you think about it, though, if he didn't leave, would Buffalo be where they are right now with Jack Eichel? Okay, and I hate to bring that up right now, but the thing is, it's just this is culminated over the years, and we've had to, of course, suffer through this. Now we have superstar generational talent. this whole thing with letting Briere and Drury go is completely just. I've completely thrown it out.
I have too.
It's done.
I
It's
have
done for me. I'm over it.
The drafting of not even the tank, basically to me, was when the July 1st, 07.
Mm-hmm.
That
where it all started.
That nightmare. That's where I think it ended.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as Vanek and Roy and even back when Connolly and Gostad were all still here, you still had that lingering thought that we should still have these guys on the team. And when they finally left, and then we started going on to the track where we are now, that's when it completely stopped for me.
Just imagine if Twitter existed back in the
Oh
2007
my gosh.
NHL free agency period.
I would have
brutal.
Sabres Twitter would have ignited into a fiery blaze. It would have been.
Oh, Regier would have
been.
There would have been so many more people would have been calling for him to be fired.
He probably would have been fired sooner than he was.
Oh, I would
Because-
hope much sooner.
I mean,
even though
granted-
honestly it wasn't his fault because Golisano didn't give him. I mean, wouldn't allow him to overpay those guys.
It was more of Larry Quinn though. Larry Quinn seemed to
that's
be
true.
running the
I'm sorry.
team more
Yep,
than
Larry Quinn.
Golisano.
At the same time, Darcy Regier did think Danny Briere was serious about the pay cut quote.
Well, what contract did they offer him? Was it 1 year?
It was $5 million per year for the next 5 years.
Yeah, something like that. It was 5. Yeah, I mean, it was.
They weren't offering near what Philly was offering.
No. Philly paid him $8 million per year.
If I remember correctly, I feel like they offered Drury a bigger contract. And that would.
I want to say you're right. I can't remember back that long ago. But I mean,
the way I think I remember it in my head was that the Sabres offered contracts to both, but the one they offered to Briere was like minuscule as to what Philly was offering, and it wasn't like a serious offer. And then that they were really trying to get Drury, and that Drury had made it seem like he was going to re-sign, and then he kind of went off to the Rangers, and then they weren't able to recover and sign Briere.
I don't think it was that he went off to the Rangers. It was that there was some issues in the Sabres management that, they wanted a contract done. Drury
didn't want to do it till after.
No,
the season, right?
Yeah, but then again, it's just like, Larry Quinn, he was the one that really kind of
screwed it up.
Blew this way out of the water for Buffalo and just kind of really put them in a horrible, horrible situation. So, you look back on it and you think, okay, well, we're fine where we are now, but just imagine, again, as we were talking about earlier with Pagula and Murray, if they were here in the Sabres organization now, Drury and Briere would not have hit the free agent market.
See, I just think with how good, they were for the years after they left Buffalo. Drury, how many more productive years did he have outside of
I think he said
in New York?
1 or 2.
So
I would say so because he had injury issues, really bad injury issues in the final year or two.
So having Briere would have been a good thing to keep moving forward, but I feel like those two maybe would have prolonged our rebuild, and maybe Regier and them would have stuck around longer, and who knows if we would have ended up where we are now with Jack Eichel and those guys, because maybe that approach wouldn't have been brought to until a couple more years when maybe those guys retired.
Remember when there was the huge topic of discussion with who would you have rather kept if the Sabres had re-signed one of them, Briere or Drury? There were so many talks about it.
I was always arguing for Drury just because of his two-way game. But,
right.
I feel like Briere was more of a fan favorite just because he was a flashy
Briere's
player.
a year younger.
Briere had 95 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did the top scorer in the NHL have this year?
87. Jamie Benn.
He had 95 points in the season. Like that's no one's.
And the
we
year
haven't seen
that
anyone come near that.
And the year that same year, Chris Drury had 69 points, 37 goals, 32 assists, 77 games.
Would you take 95 points as Jack Eichel's best season right now?
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
it's
Briere
a different
did
game
that
too. You're figuring guys are not getting those points.
That's a good point.
I could see Eichel having much better seasons, but of course this year was kind of a weird season the way it all played out because there were, I think Tyler Seguin would have won the Art Ross race and, could have been right up there with Ovechkin for goals if he did not get hit by Kulikov. If he was healthy throughout the entire season, he would have probably been right with, his teammate Jamie Benn. He probably would have been with Alex Ovechkin in all those races, and he might have been MVP of the NHL over Carey Price. And there's a valid argument there, because at the time that he went out, Dallas was on fire. They were streaking really, really well. And then when he went out, I believe he missed, 11 games or something like that. And I think Dallas lost 7 of those 4.
Yeah. And the year before, by the way, with Briere, 58 points, but he only played 48 games.
Well,
like, he was on pace to get to the hundreds. 100. But, like, he left after a 95-point season. Like, that, it's just insane to think about that happened. And looking back on that argument, I mean, Briere definitely had a better post-career than Drury did. But Drury, of course, was limited, as we said, by the injuries, and I think he had an illness that caused him to retire early. So you had both of those. One other memory I wanted to bring up on Briere. If anyone remembers this, it was in the first round of the playoffs when Buffalo was playing Philadelphia. And I think it was Game 4 in Buffalo. And Briere had a breakaway against Miller. And this was Miller, like, at the top of his game. And Miller just glove saved Briere, robbed him blind, and the entire crowd just, like, erupted. Like, Briere was just, like, stonewalled there by Miller.
A kind of weird memory I have is kind of in that same season is the game where Buffalo clinched the playoffs. And they beat Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Briere kind of sat back behind the net and almost...
Yeah, Myers, the Sabres needed 1 point to clinch the playoffs. And they were tied with like 45 seconds to go, and Myers was just sitting with the puck behind in his own zone.
Oh, that's
waiting for Philly to come after him, and he's just like killing the clock because he knows we're 45 seconds from the playoffs. And Briere's just standing on the blue line, not doing anything. And then finally Hartnell came off the bench and started forechecking, but like he stood there for a good 10 seconds and didn't do anything.
And I doubt that was what we think it was, but it was just kind of neat to see that, with his connection to Buffalo. I mean, it just kind of reminisced with me.
I looked back at Sagan's how many games in the games that he was out, Dallas only won 3 of those games, and he was out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games, and they only won 3 of those games that Tyler Seguin was out. That was a huge blow to the Dallas Stars because they were making, they were fighting their way back into the playoffs. They were, I think, only 3 points out of a playoff spot at that point when he went out. They ended up winning the game that he got hurt, but then after that, only 3 of those games, and that just, you got to find ways to overcome injuries and everything, and just, it was too big of a blow.
Do we think Seguin can unseat Crosby at some point as the best player in the league?
I think it's possible. I mean, Crosby's getting out of his prime, and Sagan's right in, and I think within the next couple of years, I think it's definitely possible. But I think Crosby's he's going to be fully healthy next season. He's got Phil Kessel on that team now, so they've got some more pieces. I think he's still got a couple more years of being the top guy, one of the top guys.
I still think Sidney Crosby is the best player in the NHL just because of his pure ability, just his overall game. He's very good offensively. They can throw him out on the penalty kill if they need a penalty killer. He's very smart on the ice. He's intellectually smart. But
Sagan's more just like a pure goal scorer.
Oh yeah, Sagan's all offense.
And it's Crosby's ability to take over a game too that really makes him so special.
Right.
That's true. I would say on Seguin that I think he has the potential where he could unseat him, just because if you look at his situation versus Crosby's, I think Seguin has a pretty good team right now, and then Dallas also has a very good prospect system and farm system that are going to be coming up to play for them soon. Whereas if you look at Crosby, he has a really good team right now, but that prospect system is shot. Pittsburgh is like, I thought I saw some ranking that Pittsburgh was dead last in prospects, and it was not even close. Like, they have just nothing left. So, I mean, at some point, Pittsburgh is going to start to feel that. And I'm not going to say he's going to want out of Pittsburgh, but he's going to be demanding change, you would think, because he's not going to be wasting his career on a team that's not going to be a contender for the Cup.
So you're saying that there's a chance that Sidney Crosby may be traded or leaves Pittsburgh?
I mean, if they get
That's
to
a pretty bold statement.
I just don't see how they're going to be competitive 3 or 4 years down the line.
I mean,
or like not competitive. I should say a Stanley Cup contender. I don't think they have what it takes right now to become a Stanley Cup contender in the next 3 to 4 years.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, they're still in good position. They've got two pretty good lines, two pretty good offensive lines. Their defense, they've got a guy like Chris Letang as their top defenseman.
That needs to be improved, I think, if you want to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I can see your point with Pittsburgh not having a full team, but I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury, he proved this year that he was very capable of carrying his team this year beyond where they went. But injuries on defense and Sidney Crosby just kind of taking a nap throughout the entire New York Rangers series just kind of hurt them.
How many players do you think had more than 40 points for the Penguins last year?
More than 40 points like throughout the regular season?
Yeah.
Well, you got obviously Crosby and Malkin.
Yes.
Brandon Sutter?
He had 33.
33, wow. Okay. And he just got a huge payday from Vancouver after the trade.
He's a very good two-way center, though. Sutter is one of the players on
That
the
is
team I
true.
really like, just because I think he's one of the better third-line centers in the NHL.
Let me going on general manager here because I want to see how many years. Okay, well, I mean, Sidney Crosby and Malkin and Phil Kessel are locked up well beyond,
Oh, they're there for the long term.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby's there until 2025. Malkin 2022 and Kessel 2022. Patrick Hornquist had to be somebody over 40 points.
Yes.
Yes. Chris Kunitz, no.
39.
David Perron, I don't think so.
He had 22.
22. Trade a first-round pick.
First-round pick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pascal
where was that pick, by the way?
That was 16. Yep.
Yeah, they could have got a. That's where they
Barzal
could have had
went.
Griffin Reinhart.
Barzal. Yeah.
They could have had Griffin Reinhart if they did the same trade as Edmonton did. I would not have made that statement about the Penguins a few minutes ago because they would actually have a guy who has the capability to be a franchise defenseman.
Just remember, Pittsburgh signed Sergei Gonchar to a professional tryout contract.
And that just happened.
Just happened.
Why?
This past weekend.
I just can't believe they did that.
41, maybe trying to rekindle some magic that he had in his Pittsburgh days. I don't know. I don't know why they'd want an aging Sergei Gonchar.
Aging? He's aged. He's past. He's like, what is he? 45
yeah, because I mean,
now?
he rarely. I mean, he was traded from Dallas to Montreal during the season,
Which
and
I think
then,
was just a cap move.
Oh yeah, it was more of a cap move.
He
than
did play
anything
a
else,
little,
but yeah, it's Pittsburgh does have Ian Cole. Ian Cole did play relatively well for them when he came over from the Blues in the Bortuzzo trade. Olimata they still have if he can stay healthy this year.
Gonchar's entering his 24th season if he plays.
Wow. Not as many as Jaromir Jagr.
Wow. Wait, 22. Sorry, there's a couple seasons in there where he played with two. So this would be his 22nd season.
Yes.
And 42.
Yep. Unreal. Yeah, and
he played 45 games for Montreal last year.
Pittsburgh.
So he played a good amount.
Pittsburgh's best prospect is Derek Pouliot, and he's a defenseman. He'll probably play most of the year in the NHL this year.
I don't know if I could name you another prospect after him. I would have said Kasperi Kapanen, but of course they traded him to Toronto.
Harry Snaps.
He would be their second best. Bring in Harry Snaps. He would be their second best prospect. At
Mike
age
LaFontaine.
Letang, by the way, was that other guy that had over 40 points.
Letang, yep. That's
Yikes.
true.
He had 54. Steve
Yeah.
Downey and Blake Como are your next two.
Oh, God.
That's where you're at.
Blake Como went to Colorado, and Steve Downey went to Arizona.
Yeah, they don't even have them anymore. And Spalling was after that. He's gone.
Spalling went to he went to Toronto in the Kessel trade, right?
They added Matt Cullen, who's 38. They added
cheap, but
do
just
they have Nick
Matt
Bonino?
Cullen. Yeah, they have Nick Bonino. That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
He'll be their third line center, and
Dupuis
he's
will
good.
be back at 36.
That is
Kunitz
if
will be back
Dupuis
at
can stay healthy.
35.
Kunitz is injury problem
And he's 35
lately.
years old. They have a
35.
lot of old guys.
Yeah, that's amazing that Kunitz is 35. I did not think he was 35.
Yeah, I know. He's older than I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought he was like maybe
He's
32.
been around a long time. He was in Anaheim pretty.
Was in
early.
Anaheim.
For a while.
Was in Philadelphia. Was in Atlanta.
Really? I don't remember either of those.
Yeah, I think that I want to say he was in Atlanta. Well, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna look like a. Yeah, he was in Atlanta. He was started in Anaheim, traded to Atlanta, then went back to Anaheim, and then went to Pittsburgh.
And he's been there ever since.
Yep.
Smart move on his part. He
He
was able to go to
spent-
the Olympics just by playing on Crosby's line.
He played 2 games in Atlanta, and I remember him in Atlanta. Like I remember those 2 games he played in Atlanta, and it was just like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Rob Scuderi also 36, by the way.
Yeah,
He was
and-
on that.
Chris Kunitz has only had 2 years. He's played 82 games. His last one was in 2011, 2012. 61 points. That was a career high.
If you were Pittsburgh's GM,
Nope,
what would
never
you
mind.
do?
With Kunitz,
Would you do anything?
I would try and trade Kunitz. Kunitz is...
They just got to try to get younger.
They have to, but,
They should stop trading their first-round pick every year.
yeah, they should.
When's the
really.
last time they had a first round pick?
Chris Kunitz has a $3.85 million cap hit for the next 2 years. A team
That's not nothing.
a team that either A, needs to get to the cap floor, or B, they think they can win with a player like Chris Kunitz on the left wing, will trade for him. But Pittsburgh's going to ask for a lot. And are they going to get a lot for a guy that can't stay healthy lately?
And is got probably not many good years left.
Probably not.
By the way, Pittsburgh's already traded their first round pick from next year for next year.
Yes, they have.
Where did that go?
That
know?
went to...
I'm looking at their draft picks. I'm like, oh, they need to really hit their first round pick this year. Oh, then they already got rid of it.
Oh, that went to... Where did it go?
The Kessel, right?
Oh, yep,
Kessel
Kessel.
trade.
Yep, Kessel trade.
They already traded it.
There it is.
And next year's draft is significantly deep. It's not like this year's draft where it's, really deep. But, I mean, you got Matthews, Puljujarvi, and Chychrun right at the top. Then you got guys like Alex Nylander. You got guys like, what are some of the other names? Oh, Matt Tkachuk right there. Sean Day. I mean, there's some really good talent in the top 10 of the draft next year.
Sean Day, by the way, got cut from junior camp.
Yeah, surprise.
Not a good sign from him, but that might be.
It
more
doesn't hurt his draft stock. I mean, Dylan
Yeah.
Strome was cut, and he still went 3rd overall.
Yes,
It's because
as an underager, you just shouldn't put too much stock in.
Yeah, unless you're a Connor McDavid or even Lawson Crouse, but Lawson Crouse kind of fit that role that he was playing.
He could have played a 4th line role. Like
big size winger. Playing on a line with Nick Paul and Nick Ritchie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
That is a really good 4th line.
That would have been the
Actually,
first
it was
line on most of
Frederick.
the
It
other
was
teams.
Frederick Gauthier that was centering the 4th line with Nick Ritchie on the right wing and Lawson Cross on the left wing.
Yeah.
Nick Paul was the 3rd line center, one of the wingers on the 3rd line. But granted, Team Canada at the World Juniors this past year was electric. And this year they don't have McDavid. They're probably going to get Lawson Crouse back. They'll probably have Jakob Chychrun playing on defense.
Who, Canada?
Yeah.
Chychrun's Canadian?
Chychrun's, well, he's technically Canadian. He was born in Florida because his dad was playing for the Panthers when he was
they
born.
Stole him.
But he has dual citizenship, and I think he chose to be a Canadian citizen officially for international competition.
Damn you, Canada.
Do
Yeah,
they still have
so-
Lazar playing for Canada, or is he?
He'll be
He-
too old, probably.
Too old?
Oh, Ottawa would never let him play.
No, I think he's not going to play this year. No.
Okay.
Ottawa wouldn't. They barely let him this year.
I want to say Lazar is too old, but, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
USA doesn't get Eichel this year. By the way, with I just lost my train of
Curtis
thought.
Lazar would be
Go
too
ahead.
old to play for Team Canada this year.
All right.
He will be in the
Go.
NHL full-time.
They might be able to take a couple of those Coyotes kids though. If they're eligible still.
Duclair.
Duclair,
Well, I mean,
no.
Strome. I was talking about Strome.
Strome, yes.
Yeah.
Domi's too
Domi's
old,
not.
right? He's done
He's
too.
too old.
Christian Dvorak.
Christian Dvorak is American.
Good.
He will be playing for Team USA. I have a strong feeling he will.
Good. I like him.
I think Matt Tkachuk is going to play for Team USA. Max Jones, Team USA. Austin Matthews,
We're
Team
gonna-
USA.
Austin
That is
Matthews.
unless,
Who, by the way, went to play in
Zurich.
Switzerland.
Yeah, that is if Zurich decides not to let him play, but I doubt it.
I would
I
not-
would think.
I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
I want to
would
watch
think
him
that
at the
he's
World
gonna.
Juniors.
I would think he's gonna play for Team USA. But, I mean, I'm looking at some of the top prospects for 2016 NHL draft.
World Juniors this year, by the way, is in Helsinki, Finland.
Helsinki, yes. And, yeah, I'm just looking at some of the top prospects. Jesse Puljujärvi is Finnish. He was playing for Finland at the World Juniors this year. He'll be there again. Jakob Chychrun's Canadian. Matthew Tkachuk is American. Max Jones is American. Chad Chris is American. A lot of Americans coming up in the top of the NHL draft lately.
Woohoo!
This past year in the first round. How many were there? 8? 10? Something like that?
10, I think.
I want to say so, too. Because you had Eichel. You had Jack Roslovic. You had... God, we're going to be going through here. I got the list here. You had Noah Hannafin, Zach Werenski. That's 4.
Who went back to college, by the way.
Yes. Kyle Connor, 5. Oh, Colin White, 6.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Besser, 7. And...
Jordan Greenway.
Jordan Greenway was second round.
Oh, right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only 7. I thought there was more than that, but...
Just the 7.
No.
One more question on the Penguins real quick before we get off them. If you were Sidney Crosby, would you want them to trade Evgeny Malkin? He's not a guy you get to play with all the time.
I think we've said that. I think we've talked about this before, but it's, you have to have that perfect situation, that perfect trade.
Yeah, you got to get the right value.
You have to. I mean, Malkin would cost. Ooh, that would be quite the future for Malkin.
They would want Eichel.
If Buffalo were to trade for Malkin, they would want Eichel. Yes, that is true. Malkin is 29. 29.
Makes more than Crosby.
$9.5 million cap hit over the next 8 years. 7 years. 8.
First of all, there's not many teams that can afford it.
7. 7, because Cap Geek got 1 extra year on, or Cap Geek, oh my God. General Fanager got 1 extra year there, but Malkin, he will cost you your future. He will cost you everything that you would want of your future. It would be Jack Eichel for sure. Let's say Buffalo tried trading for Malkin. I don't want them to, but let's just hypothetically say they will, or they're going to try. It would be Eichel. They're probably going to want a defensive prospect.
McCabe.
Mark Pezic, Jake McCabe, one of the two, or Rasmus Ristolainen maybe.
Oh, I would.
Wow, I don't understand why that would ever be even on the
But
table.
again, the fact is that you don't know what kind. I mean, it's gonna
he might just be untradeable.
They will ask for multiple first-round picks too. They will probably ask for 1 or 2 first-round picks, whether it's same year or one after another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would just be so not worth it.
Which is why it probably just won't happen.
No.
So, I mean, sometimes a player might just be so good that he's untradeable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not.
Who's going to meet that price?
I mean, Malkin is good. It's just he's not untradeable. It's not like Crosby, where it's like you don't want to ever trade Crosby. If you're trading Crosby, you're crazy. You would be crazy to trade Sidney Crosby at all. And Malkin would be the only player of Pittsburgh's that's a top player that would be movable. Because they
could trade Kessel.
They could trade Kessel. Yeah, but I don't think they would want to do that.
Considering they just did.
They just gave up the value that they got out of Kessel, they had to give up Kasperi Kapanen, their best prospect. That was expected.
First-round pick. Nick
Spalling, and then Scott Harrington.
Yes.
Which
is an okay guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing too special. But, I mean, you get Tim Erickson and Phil Kessel basically in return. And also Tyler Biggs, who, whatever. But, I mean, for Malkin, you would be giving up so much to get a 29-year-old center who, granted, he's still very, very offensively talented, but he's got some years. He's got some baggage with him with injuries because he has some injury problems. No arguing that. But man, I if I was, I would not want to give up my future. I mean, let's just say Arizona traded for Malkin. Strome would probably be right up there.
Strome and Domi.
Probably, because you got to get a center in return.
Right. Maybe Duclair.
Well, I mean,
would they get a third forward? They probably want.
You're kind of throwing a lot more onto that because I don't think they would give up all three of those guys. It would definitely be Strome because that's your top center prospect.
They would probably want a defenseman.
They would probably want a
Ekman-Larsson?
defenseman. I think Ekman-Larsson's
What if they
a no
just
move.
offered you Strome, Ekman-Larsson, and a first?
I wouldn't do that for the Coyotes.
No
really
way.
on that
Yeah.
side.
Wait, is this for Malkin?
Yes,
Yes,
for
okay,
Malkin.
That's why I meant.
Yeah,
I still wouldn't be doing
That sounds pretty logical though.
And that's just another point.
But
to
it would
me, I just don't see
you'd
that trade ever
probably have
happening.
to throw in another
Would you do it if
conditional
you were
pick.
Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah, I would do that trade.
Yeah.
If I was Pittsburgh.
Huge cap hit off your
I mean, you'd be getting
off your books.
I don't think Ekman-Larsson is near that right now. I'll have to look.
If I'm Arizona, I'm not trading Ekman-Larsson yet. I am not trading
I'm keeping
Ekman-Larsson.
OEL if I'm
I mean, if you get
Arizona.
Malkin.
If you get Malkin,
Ekman-Larsson, by the way,
then
is
I would consider it.
a $5.5 million cap hit until 2019.
and Pittsburgh would definitely want to take the 9.5 cap hit of Malkin's off the books. However, probably they will not. I don't see them trading Malkin anytime
Can anyone
soon.
guess the second highest paid player in the Coyotes?
Shane Doan.
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna,
Zbynek Mahalik.
Mike Smith.
No.
Mike
Smith. Fine. Let's do skaters.
Oh, okay.
That one.
That's right.
No. Hint. He played on a team that is no longer in existence, and it's not Shane Doan.
So it's the Atlanta Thrashers.
No.
What?
Chris Pronger.
I was going to say Chris Pronger. Yeah.
It's
What?
Chris Pronger.
They traded for the
For his
contract of Chris Pronger.
He's only 40. Come back.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so.
He could do it. He's Pronger. I mean, if you're looking at the Coyotes, I mean, if they plan on trying to get in the Austin Matthews sweepstakes, that would be. I mean, if they could pair him with that, if they were able to do a trade, that would be nuts. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about NHL jerseys, as Adidas has won the jersey rights to the NHL, replacing Reebok. We'll be right back on Neutral Ice on WBNY. You're listening to Neutral Ice on 91.3 FM, WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. I'm Joe DiBiase, joined in studio by Brayton Wilson, Derek Kramer, and Lou DiBiase. We are talking NHL jerseys right now. And if you have not heard, Adidas won the bidding for the NHL jersey rights. So they will become the official jersey supplier of the NHL starting in the 2017-2018 season. They will replace Reebok, and that is coming after Adidas will give up the NBA to Nike. So,
Still horrible.
Brayton, tell us how you really feel.
let me give you a couple more details on it, though. Source told TSN, if you're already deciding on a major NHL jersey overhaul, Adidas may be put their striping on the jerseys. And it also would seem like a good time to introduce the ads if you plan to do it anyway. So, I'll show Brayton the picture. This is the proposed jersey format. Three stripes on it all.
3 stripes on everything. So if the Sabres get a new jersey, it's 3 stripes on the shoulder, 3 stripes on the arm, 3 stripes on the belt.
So it's
gonna
be
look
like Adidas
like
branding.
It's going to look like hot garbage.
And
it's going to
plus-
look terrible.
Plus ads on the jerseys.
And that's
Not
going to
too
make
much.
it look horrible.
I saw one. This wasn't for Adidas, but I saw one projection or like what something might look like, where it was literally like the Sabres jersey. They have where they have the number on one side on the front. They have like a little Labatt Blue logo on the other.
That's going to it's just going to look so cluttery.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want that?
I think it's.
Because Gary Bettman.
Money.
It's going to look so terrible. Adidas, Adidas does some college hockey jerseys, and especially Michigan's. Some of the designs that they come up with Michigan, but some of them have been just horrible.
But remember, Michigan also on their football helmets had the 3 stripes already, so they kind of had that in their uniforms already.
Yeah, they had the kind of
They're
style.
the Wolverines.
But the Wolverines have the 3 clause.
It still doesn't matter. It's going to suck. The jersey's going to suck.
Wisconsin was another team that they did the jerseys for.
But then again, there are some teams that really need a jersey overhaul, like the Colorado Avalanche. They need a new jersey. They are getting the Stadium Series jerseys that are paying tribute to the Rockies, I guess. But
that actually transitions perfectly into my question. What teams need a jersey overhaul?
Well,
I'm looking at jersey rankings right now by the Sporting News. They had dead last as the Nashville Predators, which I disagree with.
no, I
like
think
the jerseys.
Nashville's jerseys look awesome now.
Above that, they have the Coyotes' new jerseys.
The Coyotes' new jerseys look pretty awful.
Then they have the Penguins.
Yeah, they need an upgrade.
The Avalanche.
The Avalanche. I would put the Avalanche dead last.
And then
put
Sharks.
them dead last.
Sharks, Canucks, and Flames.
I kind of like the Flames.
I think
the Canucks
Flames could
the
do better.
Canucks are
Flames
bringing
have
back
better-
the skate.
I like the Flames classic jersey better. Wait, the Canucks are what?
The Canucks are bringing back the black and
Really?
gold and red skate jersey
Oh
that
my
they had in the
God,
'94
yes.
Are
Cup
they
Finals.
actually?
Please.
Yes, they are. They're bringing them back as an alternative.
alternate.
Yep,
I
alternate
don't-
jersey.
I don't like those jerseys.
I love those
Those
jerseys.
jerseys are awesome.
They are great. They better bring them back and they better make them awesome.
They are
because they were great.
great.
So what are some teams that need a jersey haul?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh.
Is it just the colors or is it the jersey
It's
design?
the jersey design. They haven't changed it at all since they did the Reebok redesign of all the jerseys.
Also,
black
why?
helmets.
Yes, why the black helmets and the black shorts? It doesn't fit the color.
No, it doesn't, and because they're lazy in Denver. They're all probably. I'm not even going to go there.
Maroon and blue isn't even. Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, I know. I think you got the point, but it's just I'm not even going to say it because I might get myself in trouble.
Another
if I say
team
it.
I think might need a jersey overall is Florida.
Florida, yes, I agree because they haven't really changed much since the
Their
Reebok
inception.
design.
Honestly, I think Carolinas are hideous.
Carolina's
Wow,
are.
I like Carolina.
Carolina actually
thought
got
they-
better
I'm not
than
a
what they
fan of
had.
I thought
Yeah.
they simplified
Carolina
it.
should just move back to Hartford.
Okay, yeah,
those
but
are
maybe
I think we all
jerseys.
agree
We all
with
just
that.
hate
However,
everything Carolina.
Hartford has no arena that can fit an NHL
But the
team.
Whalers jerseys, man.
The Whalers jerseys, I know, but
ESPN can't buy them. Move them to Bristol or something.
Why
no,
would
because
ESPN buy something hockey?
ESPN's owned by Disney.
Disney used to own a hockey team.
Yeah, but look how that turned out.
They got Paul Kariya.
That's about the best thing they got out of it.
True. And
Because
Timu.
it was the year after they sold the team, they won the Stanley Cup.
It was the
Yes.
it was the year right after they weren't the Mighty Ducks
Yeah.
anymore. It was in 2007.
Yeah, then they
when
sold, and then they
they went to the Orange.
yeah, and they won the
They
cup.
won the cup.
By the way, if you haven't seen, the Ducks got a new orange alternate with the Mighty Ducks logo.
which I think is sweet, but I mean, I'm just.
If anyone's seen that, I think it's cool.
It's never going to be.
They
what it
need to
used
bring
be.
back the old
Yeah,
Ducks
it's
logo.
Never going to be what
They
it was.
wore the retro.
Well, they brought back the logo. It's just the colors are going to be orange.
Exactly.
and
They
black.
wore-
I don't know
People-
if I want that.
I get why they're doing it because they don't want to go back to the old Mighty Ducks Disney stuff because there's probably some sort of I don't know. I'm just thinking that there might be some sort of thing where Disney doesn't want them to wear it too often.
They did wear them in the throwbacks.
They did wear the
about a
throwbacks
year ago.
last year, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I want them to wear them more often, but
There's got to be something in there.
there
that's-
has to be
that
some
doesn't
sort
allow
of
them to wear 'em, yeah.
there has to be some sort of design flaw. Or, I don't know what it is,
Right.
but where was I going with this? There is one other team that needs to go back to their retros, and I don't know if I think one of you guys have got to get it.
Calgary.
No,
Back to their retros.
Oh, by the way,
Min-
Colorado did announce a new
Dallas?
alternate. I'll show you.
no, not Dallas. Dallas jerseys now are gorgeous.
I think
That's
The
Dallas.
victory green jerseys.
But could you just
are
see the Minnesota North Star
fabulous.
jersey?
Winnipeg?
Just yes, please.
No, not
Not
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Dallas is
Winnipeg,
ranked second
no.
on this list, by the way, in jerseys.
Rightfully so.
Buffalo.
No, not Buffalo.
I actually think Buffalo should go back to what they had.
I don't dig the
No.
whole
In the
navy,
90s.
but I mean,
no.
The whites were awesome.
I get it that
I want the brighter blue. I don't like the navy as much.
I honestly think the
Hang on.
jerseys that we have are just fine the way they are. I think they're classy.
Were the Capitals the team you were thinking of?
No.
the LA Kings.
Hang on.
No, not the. I'm surprised nobody's
St.
got
Louis.
Hold
this
on, we'll
yet.
get it.
No,
Ugh.
not St. Louis.
I'm spitballing here.
St. Louis, they did go back to their
Devils.
old jerseys. No, not the Devils.
green. We want
The
shoulder
green would be
patches
cool to
anymore.
bring back.
I love
Kings?
those.
No,
I already
not the
said the
Kings. The
Kings.
Kings, although their old logos have been okay. I
Pittsburgh.
like
Coyotes.
Coyotes, you got it.
The
The
Picassos.
old-
Are
Yes, the
awesome. I forgot. I know,
Azteca
I should have thought of
jerseys.
those.
They wore it for one game last year, retro
they were
night.
awesome. It was
Loved
awesome.
it.
I was
They
watching
won
that
that game.
which helped us out.
Yes. Yes.
We love
Thank
those
you.
How you DBSCs
But they
are.
need to bring back the old jerseys because their new revamped ones look like garbage. The ones they had before looked like garbage. They need to just bring back the old Aztec-looking jerseys because, yes, it was just a huge cluster of different designs and colors. It still looked awesome, and they had the black ones last year. Those jerseys were cool. I want them to bring them back
The
so
retro
bad.
green ones they had with those too, with the
With the
little
hat.
cactuses
mask
on the
fire,
bottom,
cactuses.
along the belt. They had the cactuses. That was a fun jersey design.
I miss the old cheesy NHL jerseys. Some of them were. I thought they were great.
the LA Kings gold ones.
The Mighty Duck one where the Mighty Duck guys. flying in the
Honestly,
air.
I like the black and the medium like silver tone that they have right now. The thing is just I'm not a big fan of the huge LA and then the Kings logo. I want them to change it up somehow with their main logo. But, I like the colors. They should not change away go back to purple at all. They shouldn't go back to
No
purple.
purple,
No
no.
purple at all for the Kings. Black and silver. Black and silver for the Kings all the way. That's how I remembered the Kings before. When they tried to add that purple, I get it. It was
They had
because
the
it's
black
more
and
of like a
purple
royal.
alternate.
It's more of a royal color. Purple is.
Yeah.
But
It's the color of luxury.
the Kings. I don't know. It's just I'd much rather have them black and silver, just because it just looks so much more cooler.
Another
than-
team I think should go back to their classic unis is Ottawa.
Which ones are those?
The ones that they had in.
Was it? Are you
Do
talking
remember
about
the white
0607?
Alfredson ones they had in 0607?
Yeah.
Those black ones from even before
Yeah,
that.
the old logo looked pretty cool.
I like the old
The new logo, I think they tried doing something cool
kinda
with like
modern,
a 3D,
yeah.
and it just doesn't look now anymore. It doesn't look in the now.
Does anybody miss those Islanders jerseys from the 90s?
No.
The fisherman jerseys?
Yeah.
I would
Gross.
bring back the fisherman
No,
jerseys.
why?
Why not?
Because
Why
they
not?
look great.
Again, the
they
cheesy
look
NHL
awesome.
jerseys
What do you
are
mean they
awesome.
look great?
They look amazing.
They're arguably the worst jerseys in sports
No.
history.
Come on.
You want to know a
so
really bad?
bad.
You want to know a
Come
really
on.
bad jersey was when Tampa Bay tried like having the hurricane style
Yeah,
look
that was
on
dumb.
their
They
jerseys.
literally
That was
had
bad.
they had the storm in the background.
Yeah,
of their
that was
jerseys.
bad.
You cannot seriously like those Islanders jerseys.
You can't seriously not like those.
You know what I
Islander
like
jerseys.
doing? You know what I like doing every once in a while is going to aesthetics.com and looking up all the fan designs and
Yeah,
that they
those
post
are-
up there because some of them actually look really, really, really cool. And
Uh-oh.
And some of them look. Really,
I'm going to the
really
concepts
gross.
right now. I have to. Because I mean, look at some of these. Some of these are just so like classy. They look so nice. And
And then the NHL brings out these jerseys. You're just like, how do they design
Oh,
these
yeah.
compared to
I think
some
I've
of the
been
other ones?
duped.
that's I mean, some of these are incredible designs. Like some of the Sabres ones. Honestly, this one, if you guys are on it, it's called Yellow Freakout. It actually looks pretty cool. I mean, maybe Adidas can do something like that because it's got a bunch of stripes on it, but
Adidas loves them stripes.
it's gold. It's a gold jersey. It's a third jersey. It kind of looks cool because the shoulders are the only thing that's striped with the blue, white,
looking at
and
it
the
right
gold.
Too much, I think.
You think it's too much?
I
I could see your point.
You know what I think would make them perfect? If they just made those stripes on the top just blue.
But nothing could ever beat the horrid look of the turd burgers.
They
Nothing
could've
could
done
beat
better.
that. I like this new. I like the Columbus Blue Jackets
Yeah,
one,
the white
Cannon
one.
Fest, the white one. That looks awesome. I like the fact that they changed the colors from the like 3 different tones of blue to
Yeah.
red, white, and blue for the Cannon. The Cannon logo, the alternate logo is awesome. They needed to keep that. It is part of their tradition in Columbus with the cannon. They fire the cannon after every goal. They needed to keep that. It looks awesome.
I like the Cannon logos by far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at some of these other jerseys. It looks like the one person just took the old logo and just put it in for Tampa's.
Yeah,
it's
I've seen a
it
lot
looks
of
like the old Tampa jersey.
Some of those
Yeah.
jersey concepts, they take the 2005 from 99 to 2005, the Sabres goat head, I guess you could say, and put them on the gold or a blue jersey.
I like that
Yeah.
logo.
I mean,
It's better than the Fisherman.
people always want to mix them up, kind of bring them back. I say those red cross swords. If you could bring that logo back somehow, I think that
Bring
really
that
cool
back
in
and
the
make it
original.
blue and gold.
Yeah, I think
Those-
it's simple, and I don't know how anyone could stick their nose.
The
up at
butter
that kind
knife
of jersey.
jerseys looked awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome.
So
Yeah.
so good. And I just I really want them to bring it back, and I know they won't.
No, they won't.
So, and I'm looking at some of the Sabres ones, and there was a competition that was done with Sabres Hockey Central and Die by the Blade.
Yeah.
Ryan Wolf, who I write with, was part of that, and with Andy Boron from Die by the Blade. And some of the designs, I mean, the fans voted it, and I don't know how some of them got in, because some of them looked like somebody just took crayon and just drew it in, put it in like paint on the computer, made it look pretty, and then posted it. And it was just like, how does that look good? But anyways, some of the designs that people came up with were nifty. Very, very nifty. And I don't know why this person decided to make a gray Sabres jersey with the slug on it. The slug is just
maybe the
dead.
NHL should put this guy in charge. The jerseys. He might do a better job.
He might. I like
Adidas is gonna ruin him.
Adidas is gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. I mean, if they're gonna try and put stripes in everything, and they're gonna try and put ads all over the jerseys, it's gonna look like a Swedish hockey league jersey or a Finnish, the SM Liga.
One jersey I don't want them to touch is Phillies, because I think the Flyers jerseys are perfect. They're my favorite.
The revamped Flyers jerseys are awesome, like the orange home and the
with the white the plate
white
on the back.
I
And
don't miss their black ones. I thought those were.
No, I didn't like those either.
No, the jersey selections that they have right now are just fine.
Yeah,
they really did an upgrade.
Jersey?
Yeah,
Jersey Hall, Toronto.
there are just some teams you can't mess with.
Put
Chicago
Babcock's-
is one of those
Babcock's face on
teams
it.
you
Yeah,
don't
don't
mess
touch
with.
them.
Montreal, one of those teams you don't mess with. Detroit, yep, another one of those teams you don't mess with.
Boston, you'd think, but they've kind of.
Boston's altered their
They've altered
they
them.
altered their logo in like 2008 to make it look more of a bolder
Yeah, because
B.
it used to kind of be kind of.
Kind of used to be plain, just very angular, very straight.
The yellow wasn't very bright.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very bright at all. Yeah, no, I mean,
There's some
teams like
jerseys I just wouldn't touch.
teams like Dallas, they changed their jerseys for the better. They don't need to change them anymore.
I finally like Minnesota's jerseys. I don't want them.
Minnesota's
to touch
away
I was just gonna ask
jerseys
about
look
Minnesota's.
awesome.
They're pretty good.
They changed those up. They sort of did the same thing like Carolina did, but Carolina changed their home and away jerseys at the same time that Minnesota did their just away jerseys.
I think you could edit the Devils a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I like
I would like
Lou's
to see
point. Bring back the green.
Yeah.
I like black and red. I'd like to see
I
a
like the
black
green.
alternate jersey.
One team that could use
That would be nice.
One team that could use an upgrade. Islanders, just
Just bring back the
I
fishermen.
like the Islanders.
could bring back the
jerseys.
fishermen.
The Islanders jerseys. I mean, they're the classic '80s jerseys they had basically.
Yeah, that is true. They did bring back. I was still thinking that they had the dark navy blue, not the blue that they have now. Those ones are nice. They don't need to change those.
Vancouver, I think, needs a jersey overhaul.
Yeah.
They should just bring back the skaters plan.
No, they're all over the place all the time.
Calgary's another team that needs a jersey upgrade.
I disagree.
Really, see, I like the
Oh,
logo.
well,
I think that
I
the
mean,
jerseys could be upgraded, but I don't think you.
I'm only disagreeing because I'm thinking of their classic ones, but like their
Those I
normal
would
home
go
and aways,
back
I
to,
agree.
yeah.
I like their third jerseys right now. I think they should keep those as their home.
They should bring back the alternate logo
With the-
with the horse
the
and
horse
the
head-
flames.
yeah, the flames coming
because
out.
it's Calgary. They're known for
Yeah.
the Stampede.
I'm not digging their whole alternate. I think it resembles a lot of the Sabres. Their 40th anniversary jerseys. They kind of remind
The
me of
blue
those
ones.
ones where it kind of says
Yeah, the
Calgary
alternates.
across with the logo below it. So I think they really should revamp those jerseys.
Oh, they have two alternates then, because I'm thinking of their classic, just where the logo's white. They have those too. Question: any teams you think should change their colors?
Well, I want Anaheim to go back.
San
but,
Jose is a team on my list. I think they can do
Arizona needs to go back to the old colors that they had, and
What
like
were
those
they?
black alternate. Hold on, I'll bring
The
that up
seafoam
because
green.
with the Sharks, I think that what they have is fine. I mean, they just revamped their jerseys a little bit. They took away some of the trim, which actually made it look better.
Yeah.
But Coyotes retro jerseys, yeah. Their jersey was black with. I'm trying to find okay, here we go. Shane Doan was wearing it. They were black with the old Coyote, like with the hockey stick logo, wearing the jersey. They had the Aztec design on the belt and on the arms. Below it was maroon, and then the shoulders was green with the Coyotes moon logo. I just want those jerseys to come back. I really do. And their away jerseys were white, very similar looking, same way. I mean,
simple solution: buy the Coyotes.
Buy the Coyotes. Yeah. Well,
You'd be the most stable owner they've had in years.
Yeah. Well, if I had the money to buy the Arizona Coyotes, I would, and I would move them back to Quebec.
Back to Quebec.
Yeah, they came from Winnipeg, right?
Yes.
Whoopsies. Okay, well then, sorry, I don't get everything right occasionally. I'm sorry, but I would definitely move. Arizona's they're such a bandwagon market. We saw it when they made the playoffs the one year where they went to the conference
they finally
finals.
sold out a game.
They sold out a lot of games.
It's not just like every sport they have, it's just a bandwagon market. You saw the Cardinals when they made the Super Bowl. So like the Coyotes, I mean, since they've been bad, the crowd has just been.
I agree with you that the market itself is kind of a bandwagon, but hockey, I think, especially just because it's not a traditional.
I think it's one of
market.
those cities like in Florida, like Miami, and those kind of places where no matter what, it's just the team has to be good really for it to pay attention.
I'll take the Coyotes and move them to Nova Scotia, eh?
Saskatchewan?
You'll sell out every game if you move them there.
To Halifax. Put them. Yeah, move them where the Halifax Moosehead are.
Batman's brain would explode. I have to go where? One more team I thought they could maybe use a color change is the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. They have like that yellow stripe in there. It just doesn't fit with the blue and red.
No, a panther is like a gold, not a yellow.
But I'm saying on their jersey it looks kind of yellow.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. It's, yeah.
I was thinking for the Panthers, like a gold jersey, and then the secondary color black. So like black and gold. It's a panther.
That, or you could just make the jersey look like a panther, like color it like a panther. Just have a number on the back and no logo. Just gold. Just the gold of a panther. Just maybe a little coloring too.
Or they could just move them to Quebec. And make them the
move them to
Nordiques
Quebec.
logo.
Move the Coyotes to Seattle.
Yes. I know what color Seattle would do.
We're all
Yeah,
here.
all
we're all
Seattle
gonna own an NHL team one day, and we're just gonna do whatever the
you
heck
could
we
own
want.
an NHL team. Which one would it be?
You know what?
Money wise,
I'd go
one of the big.
You can't pick the
market
Sabres.
teams.
I'd go Arizona. I would go
Prospect-wise?
Arizona. I would go
Prospect-wise?
Arizona.
Yeah, Brayton's got a point here. Prospect-wise, they're
You
on the
have
up
some
a
work
little
to
bit.
do.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson
And you get to fire
is
Darcy
great.
Regier.
Shane Doan.
You would be Darcy Reger's boss.
You get to fire
I'd
Darcy
fire
Regier.
Darcy Regier in a heartbeat.
No.
I'd fire
I would
Don
take
Maloney in a
Arizona
heartbeat.
for that reason alone.
I'd take over operations of the entire team.
Well, you just
I would
just for getting to
design
fire
their
Darcy Regier.
jerseys, and I'd be like, we're bringing back the old jerseys.
Bringing back those.
And then
Darcy,
after a
you're
couple
fired.
of years, we're moving them to Seattle, and they're going to keep those jerseys.
The Seattle Coyotes.
Seattle Coyotes. Fits. No, it doesn't. I was just
doesn't at
kidding.
all.
But no, it would be. I would take the Coyotes just because their prospect system is pretty good right now.
I would take Florida actually and
What is with you?
relocate them.
No,
Joe,
no
who do you
relocation.
want then?
I want Toronto.
Oh,
I'm gonna whip
Why?
them into shape.
Why would you want to make them good again?
I'm gonna whip them into shape because then I'll be the genius and I'll be like God there basically.
I find that hard to believe.
I'll take over
I
Colorado
would do so much
and I'll
better than
move them
Brendan
back to
Shanahan's
Quebec.
doing. What? Colorado?
Yeah, I'll take them
Really?
over. They got,
That's like
they got
the
some young
last city
pieces.
that needs to relocate. Not the last city, but like
Colorado's got a good fan base. There's no need to move
just
them.
as
They got
long
some
as you
nice young
change the
pieces. I would
colors,
like to take
or
over
as
them.
long as you change the jerseys.
Get rid of the black helmets.
Change the jerseys.
They need a new
Thank
logo.
you.
I think a logo would be a new logo.
They
Might
should just make the foot their
I
primary
did not
logo.
know what their logo was until I was 14 years old.
Foot.
Just the A with a puck going across, looking like an avalanche, but it doesn't really look like an avalanche. It just looks like a swoosh puck.
You would own Mikhail Grigorenko.
and Nikita Zadorov.
Bunch of Russian
And Matt Duchene.
crazy men.
And then, of course, there's Landeskog and
McKinnon.
McKinnon.
Yeah, you get
Pretty
that.
good
Bust.
young players.
Bust?
Bust.
All right. I wanted to touch on one more topic here on Neutral Ice. We're not going to touch on the actual investigation of Patrick Kane. It's not our area of expertise. Right now, it's no one's area of expertise, just considering no one really knows the details. So, we're going to talk about Patrick Kane if he cannot play next season and the impact on the Chicago Blackhawks. I want to start with Brayton here. Let's just assume Kane is not there to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see Chicago ranking as a team if without him?
'Cause they finished third in the Central
If he's there, I think they're cup favorites. No,
Arguably.
Yeah.
do you think that they still are arguably a cup favorite with him not there?
They could be. They could be. They still got a lot of good pieces. Still got Hossa, who was playing very well in the playoffs. You got Christopher Stieg for another year. They're trying to trade Brian Bickle, which I'm just honestly,
Tough.
yeah, it's so tough. You sign him to a $4 million
bad-
deal
it's-
for one good playoff year.
They had done so good too with not signing those role players to big contracts, and then the guy they did was Bickle.
They do have Artem Anisimov now, which I think is a
I
huge
think-
upgrade.
I think that's
They do
over
have
Brad
Trevor
Richards.
Daly now on
They have
defense,
Andrew
so it's a
Shaw
step
for
back.
one more year.
Trevor Daly just kind of replaces Oduya to me.
They have Victor
He's a little more
Tikhonov,
offensive.
who I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make. They have Marco Dano, who's going to be a
Marco
very
Dano
good
and
player.
Teravainen, I think, are going to make a
Teravainen.
great duo.
Whew, but they're both centers technically.
Well, I mean, like a center duo.
Teravainen had played wing, of course, and Marco Dano, he's definitely more of a center.
They also signed KHLer Victor Tikhonov.
And they also signed they also signed Panarin, Artemi Panarin,
And they got
from
Ryan Garbutt.
Russia. Yeah, Garbett. They've also got
They
Vili
got Corey
Polka.
Trop.
Corey Trop.
They also have Marcus Kruger, who's still an RFA, but they only have $200,000 in cap.
They have
room.
Jeremy Morin too, who's not bad. They re-signed Andrew Desjardins to a 2-year deal. Marcus Kruger still has to be re-signed. They don't have a lot of cap space. They have only $231,000 in cap space. So if they're trying to re-sign Marcus Kruger, they want to keep Marcus Kruger, and they have to re-sign him pretty quick because if he doesn't sign a deal, I do believe he goes to unrestricted.
Well, they need
free
to make
agency.
cap room.
Yeah, and they're trying to
I
trade.
don't know where that comes
They're
from.
trying to trade Brian Bickle. They're trying to trade one of these guys that are a cap.
Do you
cap
think they should maybe consider
problem.
trading Seabrook if they can't?
Not yet. Yeah, I mean, he's got. I mean, maybe he's got one more year left on his deal.
30 years old.
30 years old. I would trade Bickle or Versteeg before Brent Seabrook. You don't separate
more
your top
value.
pairing. You don't separate your top pairing of Keith and Seabrook though, because Seabrook is a huge piece to that defense. Huge.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year, and he may leave regardless. But if you can get one more year out of him and maybe repeat as champions, which they could, even without Kane, they still have the talent to do so. But the next question is, if Kane, it can't play, let's say it's a Slava Voinov sort of situation where he...
Oh, and they get cap relief?
Yeah, cap relief.
That's
Do they get
$10.5 million? They could sign
Kruger to another deal.
They could trade
They
for
can
Malkin.
keep, yeah.
I'm
God.
just kidding.
They can try and trade for Malkin. Woof.
They would have so much more flexibility though.
Yeah, I mean they would, but
if there's a big name guy that wants out of somewhere, they would now be able to afford that guy. Whereas right now they can't unless they get out from under. Bickle.
Yeah, but again, you don't know the whole situation with Patrick Kane. I mean, the NHL's investigating. I'm sure Chicago's paying a very, 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 very close attention to this because I'm sure that if Kane is convicted or he can't play, and it's a Slava Voinov situation where they get that cap relief, they're going to have the space. They can re-sign Kruger without having to trade anybody. Then they can probably, although I wouldn't suggest that they're going to do this, but I mean, they're probably going to keep a guy like, Artemi Panarin because he does play on the wing. Kane is a winger. You'd have to shift somebody from
Shaw, you'd
left
probably have
wing.
to move to wing.
Yeah, Shaw, you can probably easily put him at right wing. He'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be Taves. Who's the top line that they had?
It was Taves, Hossa, and Sharp.
Yes.
Sharp's
Sharp's gone. So the top line might be
Taves, Hossa,
and I'd say Versteeg probably. Second line would be Anisimov, Shaw, and Teravainen. I would put Teravainen on the second line. Third line,
too.
you'd probably have Dano.
Tikhonov. Oh, did we already say Tikhonov?
Yep, Tikhonov, and probably
maybe Jeremy Morin, maybe Ryan Garbutt.
I'd say probably Garbutt. Fourth
Did we
line
say
you'd
Bickle?
have Bickle with Kruger and Desjardins, yeah. Probably.
That's not-
Jeremy
that's-
Morin, they'll probably wave and try and throw him
They're-
back to
I have to say,
Rockford.
I have to say, I don't think they're very deep on forward without him.
I mean, it becomes a little bit of more of a sticky situation, but just remember, they have Joel Quenneville. Joel Quenneville is still a good coach in the NHL.
And their D is improved.
Yes.
Slightly, not too much.
Yes.
Because I think Daly is better than Oduya, but not too much. And then they'll have Rundblad for the whole season.
I think
Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
Oduya is a better skater than Daly was, but I think that. But I mean, Daly is obviously more offensive than Oduya.
Right.
No argument there. Oduya is not
In that sense,
as
Daly
offensive.
would help in Kane's absence.
To an
with
extent,
getting
yes.
points, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Daly's probably going to be anchoring the second power play unit from the point, probably playing alongside Trevor Van Riemsdyk or Nick Hjalmarsson.
Probably Jarlimson. But, yeah. Seabrook is going to be on the top power play unit. I was just thinking maybe he would
with
go the
Duncan
second,
Keith.
but yeah. They'll both be on the point.
Because they traded Patrick Sharp. He was the point man with Duncan Keith for the past 4 or 5 years. So they trade away Sharp, and now you got Seabrook and
Saad.
Keith. Yeah, you trade away Saad, but they did. I mean, that trade was astronomical, but they're still fine. They got Marco Dano, who's going to be a very good centerman, who's very young still. He's got 2 more years on his rookie deal. They did get Anisimov, who they just re-signed to a contract extension. Anisimov has proven he's good if he's healthy. And really, with that Saad deal, they wanted Anisimov. He was the main target for Chicago, and they got him.
Yep.
And they got Dano on top of that. Then they also got, Jeremy Morin back, and they also got,
Corey
Trop. Yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting year for sure. I mean, with Chicago especially, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No idea what's going to happen with that whole situation. Because, I mean, man, if they don't have Kane, it'll help them out because then they may be able to make another roster move, like Joe has said.
Yeah,
they can make an aggressive move, maybe bring in another player. But then again, you don't know how
like
long Kane is out.
Yeah.
You don't know how long Kane is out. Kane might be suspended 20 games. He might be suspended a whole year. Or it might be a Slava Voinov situation where Slava Voinov might not. The Kings might terminate his contract or buy him out, and then have a chance to. Yeah, exactly.
And with Voinov going on, kind of like a commissioner's exempt list, kind of like what happened in the NFL. I mean, that was a guy where he was an important player, but Voinov, I mean, he's not on the same level as Patrick Kane. So you would think if you're the NHL, Kane is like their most marketable player, arguably. So they would never. I mean, it would definitely be in their best interest that this all goes away. Am I correct on that?
Oh, of course.
I mean, definitely.
For their best interest, yes.
It's kind of like a marketing. That's why I kind of, I don't want to compare it to the Tom Brady thing because I don't want to get into the Tom Brady thing because this is a hockey show and the Tom Brady thing is stupid.
Yeah.
Let's go over some other news and notes from around the NHL over the past couple weeks.
Sure.
As we mentioned before, Gonchar is on a professional tryout with the Penguins.
Really?
Toronto Maple Leafs added Jacques Lemaire to their coaching staff. If you don't remember, Jacques Lemaire was the coach for the Devils.
So they're just going back to all sorts of boring hockey for the laughs,
basically.
Huh?
And then one fun topic, Pavel Bure.
Oh, this is gonna be
Oh
fun
yeah, I
topic.
heard about this.
Is leading an initiative
Yeah, Frank told us about that.
to create an old timers hockey league, which would see former hockey stars older than 45 play games.
I think this would be hilarious to
This
watch.
would be a great
I think
idea.
it'd be really
It'd be
neat.
so cool.
How many former
Chelios coming
Sabres?
back.
How many former Sabres would you want to see playing this? And who
Dominic
would it be?
Hasek,
Dominic Hasek playing in
Chris
this.
Osgood.
Darren Poop is eligible for this
Did you say
league.
Chris Osgood?
I'm just naming off guys that played long in the NHL. Yager will
Joe's-
play in at the minute he retires.
Bure hopes to attract Nick Lidstrom, Teemu Solani, and Dominic Hasek as his first.
Oh yes, please.
Timu playing again.
I think all three of them would rightly accept.
Oh, I think.
I would want to see McGillney play.
Oh.
Do we think Perreault could still do it? Lace him up.
Who?
Like some
Perreault.
Doubt it.
Jeez.
No.
He's
How,
a
what is the
legend.
age limit?
45.
In this league?
Harry Snaps will
There
be
is
the
no
fourth
age
liner.
limit. If Gordie Howe
Harry
wants to
Snaps.
play,
So it's
Gordie Howe
45
can play.
to like 100.
Yes.
That would actually be kind of fun.
Gordie Howe comes back.
Get some
And
of the
then,
goons back in the Andrew Peters, Rob Ray.
Get Rob Blake in there.
Rob
Scott
Blake.
Stevens.
And then quick other few notes before we wrap up here. Max Pacioretty is recovering well from his surgery. The Bruins plan on using Torrey Krug as a top pair defenseman.
He's capable.
Capable. He's a little
If
little,
only
but-
they had a top pair defenseman.
Oh wait, they did.
Yori Laterra had for the Blues had ankle surgery. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. He should be back.
For the start of the season.
Yes. And Ducks signed Carl Hagelin to a 4-year contract worth $16 million.
Nick Kaiser from the Herd Report said Barnaby.
Barnaby.
Oh God,
That would be amazing.
that'd be hilarious.
And Ray. All right. That's going to about do it for us here on Neutral Ice. We'll be back next Monday at 8 o'clock. You can follow us at Neutral Ice WBNY. You can follow me at DBIASI WBNY. You can follow Brayton Wilson at BJ Wilson WGR. You can follow Lou at DB Sports Talk, and you can follow Derek Kramer at Derek Kramer 49. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next Monday at 8. You've been listening to Neutral Ice on 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982.